Imagine with me for a moment that life has given each of us a bank account. But this is no ordinary bank account. Every single morning, it credits exactly 86,400 seconds into your account. That's right, 86,400 seconds. Now, there's a catch. Unlike money, these seconds cannot be carried forward. If you don't use them wisely today, they vanish forever. Gone, lost, no refunds. And yet, most of us walk through life as if these seconds will never run out. We procrastinate, we scroll endlessly on our phones, we delay conversations we mean to have, we postpone dreams we secretly cherish, and all the while, these seconds are slipping through our fingers like grains of sand in an hourglass. Time, my friends, is the most irreplaceable currency in the universe. No bank, no vault, no digital ledger can ever hold it, save it, or give it back once it's gone. You can earn 1,000,000 rupees, you can lose 1,000,000 rupees, but no amount of effort, no amount of wealth can ever reclaim a single moment that has passed. This is what makes it sacred, what makes it priceless. And yet, how often do we treat it carelessly? How often do we sit in traffic, scrolling through social media, worrying about things that may never happen, forgetting that each tick of the clock is a second we'll never see again? Let me give you a small story. There was once a young man who complained to a wise teacher, "Sir, I feel I have no time. There is so much to do, so many responsibilities, yet the day just slips away." The teacher smiled and handed him a jar. "Take this jar and fill it with sand," he said. The young man struggled, spilling grains over the floor, trying desperately to pour them all in. When the jar was full, the teacher said, "This is your life. Each grain represents a second. Once it falls through your fingers, it cannot be recovered." The young man finally understood. Each small moment, though seemingly insignificant, carries with it the weight of eternity. Once gone, it leaves a permanent void. Think about it. If you had only one day left to live, how would you spend it? Would you waste it on petty arguments, on grudges, on scrolling endlessly through feeds? Or would you spend it hugging your parents, thanking your teachers, calling an old friend, or simply sitting quietly, watching the sunset? The truth is, we all have exactly the same amount of time. The rich have 86,400 seconds. The poor have 86,400 seconds. The famous, the ordinary, the young, the old, we all get the same gift. And yet, what makes lives different is how we choose to spend that time. Every second has value, whether we recognize it or not. Even the seemingly small seconds, the ones we spend waiting at a bus stop, or sipping a cup of tea, or walking alone, carry opportunities. They are moments where we can learn, reflect, grow, or connect. But once those seconds pass without attention, without mindfulness, without purpose, they are gone forever. And that is why time is truly irreplaceable. Not because it is rare, but because it is finite and non-refundable. Now, let me be very honest with you. Most of us live in a state of time poverty without even realizing it. We complain, "I don't have enough time," while spending hours on things that do not matter. We chase deadlines, pay bills, scroll feeds, binge watch shows, and somehow feel exhausted at the end of the day, thinking we have accomplished something. But the real question is not what we have done, but whether the seconds we spent were meaningful. Because the only wealth that matters in the end is how we spent our time. Money, fame, possessions, they all fade. But a moment lived fully, a memory shared, a lesson learned, a love expressed, these remain eternal and priceless. So, how do we honor this gift called time? First, we must become conscious of it. Notice how you spend each hour, each minute, each second. Ask yourself, is this moment bringing me closer to the life I want? Am I living or just existing? Second, prioritize what truly matters. Stop wasting time on endless distractions and start investing in moments that create value, joy, and growth. Third, remember that time spent helping others, spreading kindness, nurturing relationships, or pursuing your passions is never wasted. It is, in fact, the best investment you can make because it multiplies in ways money never can. Remember, life does not promise a tomorrow. Your 400 seconds today are all you are guaranteed. How you choose to spend them is your legacy. Every second, every minute, every hour, these are the threads that weave the tapestry of your life. Treat each thread with care, with attention, and with purpose. Because once a second is gone, it is gone forever. And that is why time is not just valuable, it is irreplaceable. So I leave you with this thought. Do not wait for life to remind you of the value of time. Don't wait for a wake-up call, a crisis, or a loss to teach you what you already know. Treasure your seconds, honor your hours, and embrace each moment with gratitude. Because in the end, your life will be measured not by the things you collected, but by the moments you fully lived, the seconds you fully spent. And that, my friends, is the true meaning of time. We often live in a world obsessed with money. From the moment we wake up, we are taught to chase it, measure ourselves by it, and believe that it defines our worth. Earn more, spend wisely, save for the future, invest smartly, society tells us. And there is truth in planning for financial security. Of course, we need money to survive, to provide, to enjoy life. But here's the subtle, invisible danger. We can get so busy chasing money that we forget the very moments that make life meaningful. We become millionaires in our bank accounts, but beggars in our memories. We can have expensive watches, luxury cars, fancy vacations, but if our hearts have not been truly present in those moments, the wealth is hollow. Let me ask you a question. When you are lying on your deathbed, reflecting on your life, what do you think will matter more? How much money you saved, or how many memories you created? How many people you made smile, hugged, or spent real, heartfelt time with? The truth is obvious, yet we ignore it. We postpone vacations, we delay conversations, we tell our loved ones, I'll spend time with you later, as if later is guaranteed. But life rarely gives us a second chance. The car we wanted, the house we dreamt of, the investment that finally paid off, they are all meaningless if we cannot remember them with joy, if they cannot bring warmth to our hearts. Moments are richer than money because moments become memories, and memories become the treasure of our soul. I once met a man who had spent his entire life climbing the corporate ladder. He had wealth, success, accolades, and the admiration of peers. But when he was diagnosed with a serious illness, he realized something profound. He had no memories with his children. He had missed birthdays, school plays, simple afternoons in the park. He had traded moments for money, thinking he was building a better future for them. And yet, at that moment, all the money in the world could not buy back the laughter of a child, the warmth of a family meal, the joy of simply being present. That was the ultimate lesson. Money can buy comfort, but it cannot buy life's irreplaceable experiences. Here's the thing: life's moments are fleeting, and they demand our presence. A walk on the beach, a conversation with a friend, a heartfelt laugh, a shared tear, these are the moments that make us feel alive. No matter how much we earn, no matter how luxurious our possessions, if we are not fully present in the now, those experiences are lost forever. And yet, so often we find ourselves distracted by deadlines, by emails, by ambitions, by the endless chase for more. In that chase, we miss the beauty of simple moments, the kind that do not cost a rupee, but leave a lasting imprint on our hearts. Consider this: when we choose moments over money, we invest in relationships, joy, and personal growth. When we spend an hour talking to a parent, an afternoon with a child, or a few moments comforting a friend, the returns are immeasurable. These moments become the stories we tell, the lessons we pass on, the love that endures beyond time. Money fades, possessions depreciate, but the richness of shared experiences lasts forever. It transforms our inner world, gives our lives meaning, and creates a legacy of love that no bank account can hold. There is also a powerful lesson in learning to prioritize moments over accumulation. We often assume that being wealthy in money will make us happy in life. But true wealth is measured by richness in experiences, depth in relationships, and fullness of presence. A dinner shared with family, a sunset watched with a friend, a kind word spoken at the right time. These are treasures that money cannot replicate. And the irony is that we often postpone these treasures, waiting for a perfect time. When the house is built, the salary is higher, or life slows down. But life never slows down. If we keep waiting, we may miss the very moments that would have made life beautiful. Even our everyday routines hold the opportunity for wealth beyond money. A smile to a stranger, a compliment to a colleague, a small act of kindness. They are tiny moments, yes, but collectively they build a life of meaning. When we begin to see life through this lens, we start valuing experiences over expenditures, presence over possessions, and joy over accumulation. We start living fully in the present, realizing that the measure of life is not in coins, but in connections, not in assets, but in affection, not in material wealth, but in moments that leave our hearts full. So, how do we make this shift? First, by being conscious. Notice how much of your day is spent chasing money versus creating moments. Second, by choosing presence. When you are with someone, truly be with them, not distracted by phones or work. Third, by valuing experiences over possessions. Sometimes a simple walk in the park, a heartfelt conversation, or a shared laugh brings more fulfillment than the most expensive purchase. And finally, by remembering that life's currency is time, and the richest people are those who spend it wisely. Not hoarding wealth, but creating memories, nurturing relationships, and cherishing the moments that truly matter. At the end of the day, moments over money is not just a principle. It is a mindset, a way of life. It reminds us that life is meant to be lived, not just earned. It teaches us that true richness is measured not in bank balances, but in smiles, memories, love, and presence. The houses, the cars, the luxuries, they will fade. But the moments you create, the joy you give, and the love you share will stay with you forever, echoing in your heart long after the money is gone. Have you ever noticed how often we say, I'll do it tomorrow? How many times have we delayed something important? Whether it was studying for an exam, having a difficult conversation, finishing a project, or even just calling a loved one because we thought there would always be more time. This habit, my friends, has a silent, invisible face. It's the face of procrastination, and it is perhaps the greatest thief of time, dreams, and even happiness. Procrastination is sneaky. It whispers to us in the quiet moments, "Don't worry, you have plenty of time, you can do it later." And while we listen, it robs us, not with violence, not with force, but quietly, imperceptibly, until we wake up one day realizing that the most important moments of our life have slipped away. Let me share a story with you. There was a young student named Arav who wanted to write a book. Every day, he told himself, "I'll start tomorrow." And tomorrow never came. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, months into years. Eventually, he looked back and realized he had spent years thinking about writing a book rather than actually writing it. The words, the ideas, the passion, they were all there, but procrastination had stolen the opportunity. He had the talent, he had the time, but because he delayed, the moment to act slipped away. And the saddest part, he realized that while he was waiting for the perfect time, life went on, opportunities passed, and experiences he could have had were lost forever. That is the tragedy of procrastination. It does not just delay action, it steals potential, and sometimes it steals life itself. Procrastination is also deceptive because it often disguises itself as business. We tell ourselves, "I'm too tired now," or "I have so many other things to do," and in reality, we are simply avoiding the action that matters most. It's like standing in a room filled with valuable treasures, but convincing ourselves to ignore them because the floor is slightly dusty. We fill our time with unimportant tasks, distractions, and excuses, while the precious seconds that could have been spent pursuing our dreams quietly vanish. Every moment we delay is a moment stolen from our future self, and unlike money, we cannot earn it back. Once it is gone forever. One of the most insidious aspects of procrastination is that it thrives on perfectionism. Many of us delay starting because we want conditions to be ideal. We say, "I'll begin when I have more experience," or "I'll start when I have more resources," or "I'll wait until I feel ready." But here's the truth. The perfect time rarely exists. Life is messy. Conditions are never ideal. Waiting for perfection is simply a trap, a luxury that steals your most precious resource, your time. The key is not to wait for perfection. The key is to start where you are, with what you have, and take the first step. Even a small step today is better than a perfect step tomorrow that never comes. Procrastination also feeds on fear. The fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of stepping out of our comfort zone. We tell ourselves, "What if I fail?" Or "What if I make a mistake?" But in reality, the biggest failure is not trying at all. Every moment we delay, every task we put off, is a victory for fear. And fear, my friends, has a price. It costs us dreams, growth, and happiness. It silently robs us of opportunities until one day we find ourselves looking back and asking, "Where did the years go? Where did my energy go? Where did my potential go?" That is why procrastination is often called a thief. It does not just steal time, it steals life. The antidote to procrastination is awareness and action. Awareness means recognizing when we are avoiding the things that matter, when we are letting excuses dominate our lives. Action means choosing to do even when we do not feel ready, even when the conditions are not perfect, even when fear tries to stop us. Think about it this way: life rewards those who take steps, however small, rather than those who wait indefinitely. Every action, no matter how imperfect, builds momentum. Every second invested in purposeful action compounds into meaningful results, while every second wasted in delay compounds into regret. Here's a simple truth: procrastination has no respect for titles, wealth, or age. It does not care if you are a student, a CEO, a parent, or an artist. If you delay, it will take from you. The poet said, "Lost time is never found again." And it is true. Seconds we let slip are opportunities we can never reclaim. Opportunities to learn, to grow, to love, to achieve, to create. They all disappear if we wait for tomorrow instead of acting today. So, how do we fight this thief called procrastination? We fight it with urgency. We fight it by valuing each moment. We fight it by understanding that time is finite and precious. Start small, but start today. Make a plan, set priorities, and take the first step immediately. Replace the excuse of later with the power of now. Every moment spent in purposeful action strengthens your life, while every moment spent delaying weakens it. Remember, procrastination is not just about delaying tasks, it is about delaying life itself. It robs your present to feed your false sense of future security. It steals your energy, your opportunities, and sometimes even your dreams. The clock is ticking, and life is moving forward whether you act or not. The thief will not wait, the seconds will not wait, and the opportunities will not wait. The choice is yours. Will you let procrastination steal your life, or will you take charge, act with courage, and reclaim your time? Every time you say, "I'll do it tomorrow," remind yourself that tomorrow is not guaranteed. Every moment you act today is a victory over this silent thief. And over time, these victories compound into a life well lived, full of purpose, fulfillment, and meaningful achievement. Fight procrastination, my friends, because every second counts, every moment matters, and the life you dream of is built in the actions you take today. Have you ever noticed how the way we spend our time quietly reveals what we truly value? We often say we care about family, relationships, personal growth, health, and spirituality. We make lofty plans, write long lists of goals, and dream of living a balanced life. But the truth is written not in our words or our intentions, it is written in how we actually use our time. Time, my friends, is a mirror that reflects our priorities. Every choice we make, every second we spend, tells a story about what really matters to us. And here lies a simple, yet profound truth. If something is truly important to you, you will make time for it, no matter how busy life gets. Think about it. When you say, "I don't have time to exercise," what you are really saying is, "It is not a priority for me right now." When you say, "I don't have time to call an old friend," it is a gentle way of admitting that other things are taking precedence. The sad part is, we often lie to ourselves, convincing ourselves that we are too busy, too stressed, too tired. But the reality is, we always have time for what we value most. Time does not disappear. We simply allocate it based on our priorities. If you want to see what someone truly values, don't look at what they say. They might talk about family, health, or learning, but look at how they spend their hours, their days, their weeks. Time never lies. Let me tell you a story. There was a man who constantly complained about how busy he was. He said he wanted to spend more time with his children, but every evening he stayed late at work. He wanted to read, to learn, to grow, but his evenings were spent scrolling endlessly on his phone. One day his child asked him, "Papa, do you love me?" The father smiled awkwardly and said, "Of course I do." But the child, with the innocent wisdom that only a child possesses, replied, "If you love me, why don't you spend time with me?" That struck him hard. Suddenly he realized that love is not measured by words or gifts. It is measured by time invested, by presence, by attention. Our priorities are revealed not by what we say, but by where our time goes. This principle extends beyond family. In every aspect of life, career, friendships, health, hobbies, the allocation of our time is a reflection of what we truly care about. We may say we want to be healthy, but if we never exercise or plan our meals, we are telling our bodies that health is not a priority. We may say we want to grow spiritually, but if we never take a few minutes to meditate, pray, or reflect, we are silently signaling that spirituality is low on our list. Time is a currency, and how we spend it reveals what we invest in most deeply. We cannot full time. It always exposes our true priorities. Here is another perspective: priorities also give clarity and freedom. Life is full of demands, distractions, and noise. Without clear priorities, we drift aimlessly, pulled by urgency rather than guided by purpose. We react to every call, every message, every notification, and by the end of the day, we feel exhausted yet unfulfilled. But when we define our priorities, time becomes our servant rather than our master. We consciously choose how to spend it, focusing on what matters most and letting go of what does not. This is the power of intentional living, the ability to decide what deserves your time and what does not. But recognizing priorities is not always easy. We live in a society that glorifies business, productivity, and achievement. We are constantly comparing ourselves to others, feeling the pressure to do more, have more, and achieve more. In this race, it is easy to lose sight of what is meaningful. We may prioritize wealth over relationships, deadlines over health, social media over real life experiences. The result is a life that is full but empty, a life that is accomplished but unfulfilled. By paying attention to where we spend our time, we gain the courage to realign our priorities with our values, to focus on what truly matters, and to let go of what does not. Let me share one more story. There was a woman who dreamed of becoming a writer. She had talent, ideas, and passion, but every day was consumed by work, chores, and endless distractions. She told herself, "I'll write when I have time." But as years passed, the dream remained dormant. One day, a mentor told her, "If it is truly a priority, you will make time for it. Otherwise, it is just a wish." That hit her like a lightning bolt. She began to wake up an hour earlier each day, dedicating that time to her writing. Slowly, her dream took shape. The key was not more energy, more resources, or more luck. It was recognizing her priority and consciously spending time on it. That is the magic of aligning time with priorities. So, how do we ensure our time reflects our priorities? Start with awareness. Notice where your hours, minutes, and even seconds go. Are they aligned with your values, your dreams, and your relationships? Next, make conscious choices. Decide what deserves your time and attention, and protect it fiercely. Learn to say no to distractions, to low value activities, and to obligations that do not serve your highest purpose. Finally, be present when you spend time on something meaningful. Give it your full attention. Time is not just about quantity, it is about quality. Every second invested with intention magnifies its value. Remember, time is the ultimate measure of priorities. You cannot fake it, you cannot borrow it, and you cannot reclaim it once spent. Every day, every hour, every moment is a chance to show what matters most to you. If family matters, spend time with them. If health matters, invest in it. If learning, growth, or service matters, dedicate time to it. Life is short, and moments are fleeting. The way you spend your time silently tells the world and yourself what you truly value. Align your time with your priorities, and you will not only live a productive life, but also a meaningful one. A life that reflects your heart, your values, and your deepest intentions. Have you ever stopped to notice how much of life we spend chasing numbers? The number of friends on social media, the number of hours we work, the number of possessions we accumulate, or even the number of tasks we cross off our to-do lists. We think that the more we have, the more we achieve, the happier we become. But the truth is far more profound. Life is not measured in quantity, it is measured in quality. A life filled with meaningful moments, authentic relationships, and deep experiences far outweighs one that is filled with busyness, possessions, or shallow accomplishments. It is the quality of the moments that defines the richness of life, not the quantity. Consider this. How many people do you know who are constantly busy yet feel unfulfilled? They check tasks off endlessly, attend countless meetings, amass material wealth, and yet deep down something is missing. They are drowning in quantity but starving for quality. Happiness, joy, love, and satisfaction are not found in the accumulation of things or the ticking off of endless chores. They are found in moments of presence, attention, and meaning. The hours we spend with our loved ones, the conversations we have that touch the heart, the experiences that make our soul sing. These are the true treasures of life, and they cannot be measured by numbers. Let me share a story. There was a man who had 3 friends. One friend he saw once a month, another once a week, and another daily. But interestingly, the one he saw only once a month left the deepest impact. Because when they met, they truly connected. The conversation was rich, the laughter was genuine, and the moments were unforgettable. Compare this to the countless hours spent with others, where your attention is divided, your mind distracted, or your heart absent. It becomes clear it is not how often we do something, or how many things we do, but how deeply we engage in each moment that creates meaning and fulfillment. 1 hour of truly engaged presence can be worth more than a lifetime of distracted activity. Quality over quantity also applies to work and achievements. We often believe that success is about doing more projects, more hours, more results. But true success is not measured by how much we accomplish, but by the impact, intention, and excellence of what we do. A single well-crafted idea, executed with care and passion, can have far more value than dozens of mediocre efforts. Similarly, in life, it is better to nurture a few deep friendships than to have a large circle of acquaintances. It is better to spend a quiet afternoon with your parents or children than to attend multiple events without presence. Quality creates depth, while quantity often only creates business. There is also a lesson in love. How often do we believe that love is shown by the number of gift strips or grand gestures? In reality, love is measured by attention, care, and moments spent together. A single heartfelt conversation, a thoughtful gesture, a quiet moment of understanding. These carry far more weight than the accumulation of material expressions. Life teaches us that it is not the volume of experiences or possessions that matters. It is the quality of our engagement with each moment, each person, and each task that shapes the richness of our journey. Let me give you another perspective. Our modern lives are filled with distractions and endless options. We multitask, we split our attention, and we try to do too much at once. But in doing so, we dilute the value of our experiences. A meal eaten while checking messages, a conversation half listened to, a task done without care. These are examples of quantity without quality. The antidote is to slow down, focus, and give our full presence and attention to whatever we are doing. Life is not a race to do more, it is a journey to experience deeply. The more we focus on quality, the more we realize that even small moments can be transformative, profound, and unforgettable. Quality over quantity also teaches us to be selective, to focus our energy, time, and attention on what truly matters. We cannot do everything, be everywhere, or please everyone. But we can make each action count, make each interaction meaningful, and make each moment purposeful. Life is short, and if we try to fill it with endless quantity, we risk losing the essence of what makes it beautiful. By prioritizing quality, we create a life of substance, joy, and lasting impact. Finally, consider the moments we remember at the end of life. Rarely are they the countless hours spent working, the number of possessions owned, or the task completed. Instead, they are the deep conversations, the heartfelt laughter, the tears shared, the quiet moments of reflection, and the times when we were truly present. Those are the moments that define a life well lived, a life of depth, a life of meaning, a life rich in experiences rather than things. So, how do we embrace quality over quantity? It begins with awareness. Notice where your time and attention go. Are you spreading yourself too thin, chasing numbers, or are you focusing on what truly matters? Next, slow down. Be fully present in each moment with each person and in each task. Let go of the need to do more and instead invest in doing well. Finally, choose depth over breadth in relationships, experiences, and personal growth. Invest where it matters and let go of what only adds volume without meaning. Remember, a meaningful life is not measured by how much we do or have, but by how deeply we live, love, and experience each moment. Quantity is fleeting, quality endures. Focus on the quality of your moments, and you will discover that life, in its true sense, is rich, full, and unforgettable.